Halina mga bata, tayo nang mag-aral. Sa math, walang maiiwan. Math-sayang math-aral, tayo ng math-tuto upang ika'y umasenso. Maging matyaga, maging matalino, halina't mag-aral na tayo. Maging matyaga, maging matalino, halina't mag-aral na tayo. Halina mag-aral na tayo. Halina, 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 mag-aral na tayo.
Madlang Mandaluyong, welcome to our project store, series of online academic reviews of mathematics CLAID learning module for week 5 and week 6. I am Teacher Nat, a teacher from Highway Hills Integrated School. Sa lahat ng ating mga viewers sa tanghaling ito, huwag kalimutan i-share ang videos, mag-host ng watch party, i-share ang official Facebook page, Math Team, Mathematics Teachers Association of Mandaluyong, at mag-subscribe sa YouTube channel, MTM channel, para maging updated sa aming mga video lessons. Ang gandang tanghali, Batang Manduno. Kanina, napakinggan natin ang advanced study sa week 5 and 6 of Mathematics 10 CLAID learning modules. Ngayon naman, dadakot tayo sa advanced study of General Mathematics CLAID learning modules. Para ipakilala natin ang ating speaker, she is Special Science at Andres Bonifacio Integrated School. She is a DOST scholar and now rendering her second year of return of service at Andres Bonifacio Integrated School. She teaches General Mathematics, Practical Research 1 and 2. She took Bachelor of Secondary Education, major in Mathematics. She graduated magna cum laude at Polytechnic University of the Philippines. Grabe ang lupit niya. Magna cum laude. Hindi ko kaya yan. She is also a module writer on the first and second quarter of Project CLAID Learning. She is a teacher broadcaster and script writer under the Broadcast Instruction Program, or BIP. Let us all welcome Ms. Jeza Marie M. Alejo.
Thank you so much, Mr. Trinidad, for that warm welcome. Kumusta mga batang Manduno? Math-sayang hapon sa inyong lahat, lalong-lalo na sa aming Education Program Supervisor, Mr. Rusty I. Rodelas, to our new Principal, Dr. Olivia Pagurayan, to our Assistant to the Principal of the Junior High School, Mrs. Mira Dinganhan, to our Mathematics Coordinator, Mrs. Maylene Tumanan, to our SHS Focal Person, Mr. Christian D. Javinyar, at sa lahat ng mga batang mandunong at home learning partners na nanonood sa amin ngayong hapon ito, mapagpalang hapon sa inyong lahat. Math-sayang hapon. Welcome to Project SOAR, series of online academic review of Mathematics CLAID learning module. I am Teacher Jeza, a teacher from Andres Bonifacio Integrated School, and I will be your teacher for our advanced lesson on the week 5 of grade 11 General Mathematics. Bago tayo mag-umpisa sa ating pag-advance lesson, ihanda muna ninyo inyong mga kagamitan. Kailangan mo ng ballpen at papel na maaari niyong gamitin sa pagsasolve. Handa na ba kayo? Kung handa na, tara na!
General Mathematics Week 5 Advanced Lesson. Para sa linggong ito ng ating pag-advance lesson, ating pag-aaralan ang Module 5A, Module 5B, at Module 5C. Solve problems involving inverse functions, apply inverse functions to solve real-life situation word problems, represent real-life situations using exponential functions, and distinguish between exponential function, exponential equation, and exponential equality. So let's now move on to Module 5A, solving problems involving inverse function. Before we start, ano nga ba ang inverse function? At paano ito makuha? So to find the inverse of a one-to-one function, we must follow these steps. First, write the function in the form y equals f of x. Next, interchange the x and y variables. And the last one, solve for y in terms of x. Consider the function f defined by f of x equals 4x minus 3 all over 5. Now, we have to find the inverse of this function. What is the first step again? Step 1. Let y equals f of x. So from the function f of x equals 4x minus 3 all over 5, it will now become y equals 4x minus 3 all over 5. Next, step 2. Interchange x and y. Ma'am Jeza, ano bang ibig sabihin when we say interchange? Ibig sabihin, pagpapalitin natin. Si x ay magiging si y at si y ay magiging x. So from step 1, meron na tayong equation na y equals 4x minus 3 all over 5. If we interchange x and y, it will now become x equals 4y minus 3 all over 5. Very good. How about the last step? Solve for y in terms of x. So now, kailangan hanapin natin ang value of y. So, we will just copy the equation na nagawa natin, which is x equals 4y minus 3 all over 5. Now, we will use the multiplication property of equality. So, we multiply 5 on the both sides of the equation. There you go. So, maka-cross out to. At magiging ano na po ang equation natin? Magiging 5x equals 4y minus 3. Next, we will add positive 3 on both sides of the equation, or we will use addition property of equality. So, it will now become 5x plus 3 equals 4y. Next, from this equation, kailangan nating mahanap ang value of x. What should we do next? Divide both sides of the equation by 4. And that will give us y equals 5x plus 3 all over 4. Na-solve na ba natin ang value of y in terms of x? Yes. Yan na ba ang inverse, Ma'am Jeza? Yes. At pwede natin isulat ang function na the inverse of f of x equals 5x plus 3 all over 4. Very good. Let us try to solve this problem. You ask a friend to think of a non-negative number. You add 2 to the number, square the number, and multiply the result by 3. And then, divide the result by 2. If the result is 54, what is the original number? Construct an inverse function that will provide the original number if the result is given. So in this problem, the function is not yet given. So we have to formulate our own function from the situation given above. So we let f of x be the function. Alright? So balikan natin yung sinabi ng friend mo. Sabi ng friend mo, pinag-isip ka niya ng isang non-negative number. So let's represent, let x be the number. Anong sabi ni friend mo? Add 2 to the number. So we add plus 2. Next, square that number. So, quantity squared. What's the next one? Multiply the result by 3. So we have to multiply. So we will add 3 here. And the last one, divide the result by 2. There you go. Nagkaroon na tayo ng function. Very good. We also know that the result of this function is 54. So we write f of x equals 54. Pero ano ba yung hinahanap natin? We are looking for the original number. We are looking for x. At para mahanap natin kung ano ang original number, we will use the inverse function. So let us identify the function's inverse. So from here, we have the function 3 quantity x plus 2 quantity squared all over 2. Sabi, sa first step, change f of x to y. Kaya, we will write y equals 3 quantity x plus 2 quantity squared all over 2. Very good. How about the next one? Interchange x and y variables. Paano nga ulit nag-interchange? Okay, si x ay nagiging y at si y ay nagiging x. So, the equation will now become x equals 3 quantity y plus 2 quantity squared all over 2. Can we now solve for the value of y? Yes. Okay. First, let us, I will just copy the equation para mas madali tayong makapag-solve. Alright, all over 2. Next is, we will use the MPE, or the multiplication property of equality. So we multiply 2 to the both sides of the equation, and it will give us 2x equals 3 quantity y plus 2 quantity squared. And next, multiply din natin ng 1/3 both sides of the equation para maging 2x over 3 equals y plus 2, ayan, quantity squared. Paano natin kaya may extract si y? Eh, meron ditong squared. Merong power of 2. What should we use? Alright, we will extract the root. So, we will get the square root of the equation. Alright. So, this will now become square root of 2x over 3 equals, magiging ano na lang po ito? Alright, maka-cross out na si power of 2 because kinuha natin ng square root. Kaya ang matitira na lang ay y plus 2. Meron na ba tayong, pwede na ba natin makuha si y? Nakikita nyo na ba? Alright, so let us use the addition property of equality and let us add negative 2 on the both sides of the equation. Kaya magiging negative 2 plus square root of 2x over 3 equals y. So, na-equate na ba natin si y? Yes. How do we write again the inverse of this function? We write it as the inverse of f of x equals negative 2 plus the square root of 2x over 3. Very good. Pero balikan natin yung tanong. If the result is 54, what is the original number? So, ano po ang gagamitin natin? Gagamitin na natin ang nakuha nating inverse function. Very good. So, sulat natin ang nakuha nating inverse function, which is negative 2 plus the square root of 2x over 3. Alright. So, we will now substitute. Okay. Since 54 is the since the result is 54, okay, is-substitute na natin si 54 sa nakuha nating inverse para malaman natin kung ano yung original number. Okay, so square root of 2 times 54 all over 3. Mga batang mandunong, get your pen and paper or your calculator and solve what is 2 times 54. So 2 times 54 equals 108. Very good. So we will write 108 over 3. Next, what is 108 divided by 3? What is 108 divided by 3? Alright, the answer is 36. Alam na ba natin kung anong square root of 36? Yes, square root of 36 equals 6. Alright, so let us now simplify the equation. What is negative 2 plus 6? Yes, it is 4. Therefore, the number 4 is the original number. Alright, so we will write 4 is the original number. Very good. Ang gagaling nyo na, mga batang Mandunong. Let us now solve the second problem. In Enchanted Kingdom, the ride fee is costing 50 pesos and the fixed fee of 200 pesos for every ride that a tourist avails. Formulate a function for the total ride fee, R, and in terms, the number of rides availed, A. Using the concept of inverse function, determine the number of rides availed if the total ride fee is 1,850 pesos. So from the problem, nakabuo tayo ng function. Ano po yung nabuo nating function? It is R of A equals 50 plus 200A, where R is the total ride fee and A is the number of rides availed. So, sabi dito, gumastos kayo ng pangkalahatang magkano ang nagastos ninyo? Nagkakagastos kayo ng 1,850. Now, you want to know kung ilang rides ang na-avail ninyong lahat. At tamang-tama, we can use the inverse function para ma-solve ang problem na to. So, we will get the inverse of R of A equals 50 plus 200A. Next, change R of A to R. Kaya from the given, magiging R equals 50 plus 200A. What is this next step? Yes, we interchange the two variables. Kaya, the equation will now become A equals 50 plus 200 and R. Next step, we now solve for R in terms of A. So, sulat muna natin yung na-arrive nating equation, which is A equals 50 plus 200R. First, we will use addition property of equality. We will add negative 50 to both sides of the equation. So, magiging A minus 50 equals 200R. Very good. Next, what is the next step para ma-solve natin ang value of R here? We will now use the multiplication property of equality. We will multiply 1 over 200 on both sides of the equation. Therefore, maka-cross out si 200 dito. Kaya, meron na tayong R equals A minus 50 over 200. Very good. And the last step, change R to the inverse of R of A. So, pwede na natin itong isulat as the inverse of R of A equals A minus 50 over 200. Now, going back to the question, determine the number of rides availed if the total ride fee is 1,850. So, using our knowledge in finding the inverse function, nakuha na natin. Kaya nalaman natin na, ang inverse ng equation na ito ay this. So, A minus 50 over 200. Alright? So, para malaman natin kung ilan yung number of rides na sinakyan nila, we will just substitute the number 1,850 into this inverse function na nakuha natin. Kaya magiging, so, 1,850 minus 50 all over 200. Very good. And next one, simplify natin yung equation. So, what is 1,850 minus 50? That is 1,800 over 200. And class, what is 1,800 divided by 200? Very good. The answer is, tama ba tayo? Parehas ba tayo ng nasolve? The answer is 9. Okay? Therefore, the total number of rides is 9 rides. Very good, mga batang mandunong. Now we move on to Module 5B, representing real-life situations using exponential functions. Okay? So, exponential function. An exponential function is a function of the form f of x equals b raised to x or y equals b raised to x, where b is greater than 0 and b should not be equal to 1. By definition, let b be a positive number not equal to 1. A transformation of an exponential function with base b is a function of the form g of x equals a times b raised to x minus c plus d, where a, c, and d are real number. And the natural exponential function is the function f of x equals e raised to x. So we have here two functions. Let us evaluate f of x equals 2x, 2 raised to x, and f of x equals 1/2 raised to x. If x equals -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2. Para ma-evaluate ang two exponential function na to, we will use the table of values. So, what should we do? We will substitute the value of x into the function. So, for the first one, if x equals -2, alright, f of x equals 2 raised to -2, alright. From the laws of exponents, if we have a negative exponent, alam natin na, alright, so, the answer is now on its reciprocal, kaya magiging 1/2 squared. And what is 1/2 squared? It is 1/4. 1/4. Very good. So we write here 1/4. Next, if x equals to -1, the function f of x equals 2 raised to x will now become 2 raised to -1. Also, by remembering the laws of exponent, kapag meron tayong negative exponent, nare-reciprocal siya. Kaya ito ay magiging 1/2 raised to 1. And class, what is 1? What is 1/2 raised to 1? Anong sagot kapag ang number ay naka-raise into 1? Yes, the number will still remain the same. So the answer here is 1/2. Next, if x equals 0, the function f of x equals 2 raised to x will now become 2 raised to 0. At dahil nga sa laws of exponents, any number with a 0 exponent will give us what answer? The answer is 1. Very good. Next, if x equals 1, f of x will now become 2 raised to 1, which is also equal to 2. Very good. Next, if x equals 2, the function 2 raised to x will now become 2 squared, which is also equal to positive 4. Very good. Now, let us solve the next function. Alright? So, dito ulit tayo. If x equals -2 on the given function, 1/2, that is 1/2 over 1/2 raised to x. Alright? So, if x equals to 2, magiging, ayan, 1/2 raised to -2 na siya. And ano nga po ulit laws of exponent? Kapag merong negative exponent, nagiging kay reciprocal. So, ito ay magiging 2 raised to 2 na. And what is 2 raised to 2? That is 4. Very good. Next, If x equals -1, the function will now become 1/2 raised to -1. Oh, may negative exponent na naman ha. Kaya ang sagot natin ay 2 raised to 1, which is also equal to +2. Very good. Next, if x equals 0, f of x equals 1/2 raised to 0. Ano nga po ulit kapag ang number ay may exponent na 0? The answer is always equal to 1. Very good. Kaya lagay natin dito si 1. Next, if x equals 1, f of x equals 1/2 raised to 1. And any number with an exponent of 1 will still be the number. Alright, so the answer here is 1/2. How about this one? If x equals +2, f of x equals 1/2 raised to 2. Very good. And then, diba parang minultiply natin si 1/2 ng twice. Okay, so what is 1/2 squared? That is 1/4. Very good. So nakuha na natin ang na-evaluate na natin ang two exponential functions. Some of the most common applications in real life of exponential function ay itong population growth. So let's try to solve this problem. At t equals 0, there were initially 20 bacteria. Suppose that the bacteria doubles every 100 hours. Give an exponential model for the bacteria as a function of t. So, mas ma-represent natin ito by using a table. Alright? So, ano po yung sabi dito? At t equals 0. So, sa umpisa, initially, meron kang 20 bacteria. Very good. Tapos, kada 100 hour, ay anong nangyayari? Nadodouble or nadodoble ang bacteria. So, maglagay tayo ng at 100 hour, the number of bacteria will become double. So, that's 20 times 2. Alright? Tapos, so kung kada 100 hour yan, so ang kasunod na dito ay on the 200 hours, kung madodoble to, mag-a-add tayo ng 2. And kung 300 hours naman na ang lumipas, that will now become, alright, nadodoble lang. So, mag-a-add na naman tayo dito ng 2. Anong napapansin natin sa number of bacterias? Kung napapansin natin, pwede natin itong isulat like this one. 20 times 2 raised to 1. 20 times 2 raised to 2. 20 times 2 raised to 3. So, paano kung naka-arrive tayo sa t hours? How will we represent the function? Okay, so we can now represent the function as 20 times 2 raised to t. Alright? So, based from this observation, we can make an exponential model for the bacteria as a function of t, which is f of t equals 20 times 2 raised to t. Okay. Next example ng real-life exponential function is exponential decay. Okay, basahin natin itong problem na to. Suppose that the half-life of a certain radioactive substance is 10 days, and there are 10 grams initially. So determine the amount of substance remaining after 30 days and give an exponential model for the amount of remaining substance. So in this scenario, we can formulate a table for observation such as follows, okay? So, pwede nating umpisahan na nung umpisa, so 0 day, meron tayong initially na 10 grams. Okay. So, sabi dito, kada 10 days or every 10 days, nababawasan ng half to half-life. Okay? So, at the 10th day, so paano ba natin to? So, half-life. So, we can multiply 10 times 1/2. Tama? Next, so, kung after another 10 days, so that's 20. So, magiging 10 times 1/2 na half. So, nabawasan na naman siya ng kalahati. So, 1/2. Next, pagkalipas na naman ng 10 araw, so that's 30 days, ayan. So, magiging kalahati na naman. So, mag-add ng times 1/2 again. So, meron ba tayong nakikita dito? Pwede din nating i-express ang weight of radioactive substance in grams in this form. 10 times 2 raised to 1. 10 times 2 raised to negative 2. 10 times 2 raised to negative 3. Very good. Alright? So, given na kunyari, if we have t over 10 days na ang lumipas, okay? So, we can now write the function f of x equals 10 times 2 raised to negative t over 10 days. Okay? Naintindihan ba? Very good kung naintindihan ninyong lahat. Now, we can move on to Module 5C, distinguishing between exponential function, exponential equation, and exponential inequality. Ano bang pinagkaiba nilang apat? So, let us see. Kapag sinabi nating exponential expression, it is an expression of the form A. A times B raised to x minus c plus d, where b is greater than 0 and not equal to 1. Look at the example. 2 raised to x and 1/4 raised to x. So, kung mapapansin ninyo to, parang, yes, simpleng expression lamang to. Now, what is an exponential equation? Kapag sinabi naman nating exponential equation, it is an equation involving exponential expression. Look at the examples. 2 raised to x equals 32. 1/4 raised to x equals 256. So, meron ba tayong nakitang exponential expression? Yes, meron tayong nakitang exponential expression. Nasaan ang exponential expression dito? Ayan po, 2 raised to x and 1/4 raised to x. Now, paano natin to nasabing exponential equation? Because of the equal sign. Alright? Next, exponential inequality. Para malaman natin if the given is an exponential inequality, so it should be an equality involving exponential expression. Look at the example. 2 raised to x is less than or equal to 32. 1/4 raised to x is greater than or equal to 256. Meron ba tayong nakitang exponential expressions? Yes. At meron ba tayong nakitang inequality signs? Yes ulit. So therefore, tamang-tama na itong mga examples ay talaga namang exponential inequality. Very good. Next one. Paano natin masasabi kapag ang given ay isang exponential function? Simple lang. So a function of the form f of x equals b raised to x or y equals b raised to x, where b should be greater than 0 and not equal to 1. Look at the example. F of x equals 2 raised to x. And f of x equals 21 times 1/4 raised to x. Meron ba tayong nakitang exponential expression? Meron. Meron din tayong nakitang equality sign or equal sign. So, paano natin mapagkakaiba ang exponential equation sa exponential function? Okay. So, dito ay nagkaroon na tayo ng relationship between two variables. Kasi, paano mo nasabi, Ma'am Jeza, na two variables yan? Ayan po. Meron na tayong f of x. So, which is also equal to y equals 2 raised to x. Naintindihan ba? Okay. Kung talaga namang naintindihan nyo na, let us practice. Determine whether the given is an exponential function, an exponential equation, an exponential equality, or an exponential expression. Are you ready? Let's start! How do you identify the given? We see here an inequality sign. Therefore, this is an example of an exponential inequality. Very good. Next number. We see that there are exponential expressions, but it is also with an inequality sign. So therefore, this is an example of an exponential inequality. Very good, Batang Mandunong. How about this one? Anong nakikita ninyo? Meron na naman siyang exponential inequality. Very good. Next number. How about this one? Meron tayong nakikitang exponential expressions. Ilang variable ang nakikita natin? Dalawa. At meron tayong nakikita na equality sign. Therefore, this is an example of an exponential function. Very good, Batang Mandunong. Alam nyo na talaga ha, paano naman to? Okay, we see an exponential expression here, 0.5 raised to x, and an equality sign or equal sign. Therefore, this is an example of an exponential equation. Correct. You gotta power up. How about this one? It is an exponential expression. Merong relationship between two variables and an equal sign. This is an example of, tama ka na naman, an exponential function. Next question. How do you identify the given? This is an example of an exponential equation. Very good. Let us activate your power up so that you can double your points. How about this? Okay, kita nyo na ba agad kung anong sagot? This is an example of exponential function. Very good. Tama na naman. Alright, for our next question, this is an example of an exponential expression. Tama. Now let's go with the last question. 5 raised to 2x minus 5 raised to x plus 2. This is very good, an exponential expression. The end. Good job mga Batang Mandunong. Very good sa inyong pag-participate. Thanks for watching!
Maraming salamat at sinamahan ninyo ako sa ating pag-advance lesson para sa ika-5 linggo ng Grade 11 General Mathematics. If you have questions, feel free to send a message to our official page, Math Team, Mathematics Teachers of Mandaluyong, or send a message to your math teacher. Once again, I am Ma'am Jeza saying, math-sayang mag-aral, tayo ng math-tuto.